and welcome back to another episode of the Practice Players Podcast. This is going to be episode 9, and I'm David alongside
Nick,
Dan,
Colby,
and we are the Practice Players. Very excited to be joined today by Mr. Colby Baumann, Ohio State basketball player, phenomenal person and friend. So not going to take up too much time. Colby, for the viewers, could you sort of just explain your basketball journey and how you ended up at the Ohio State University?
Absolutely. So grew up in Houston, Texas. Went to a school named Atascocita High School for the first portion of high school, and didn't really see much getting out of there. I was doing okay. Just kind of butted heads with the coaches a lot, and didn't really see myself, going to a good college for basketball, and, just wanted to see more. So me and my mom talked about it, and I had gone to a camp at IMG Academy, probably started my freshman year, and they wanted me to go there back then. So I thought it was a good option for me just to head down there and kind of see if that was still an option. So me and my mom made the trip down there, talked to a few coaches, and they welcomed me on the team immediately. So it was a long journey, and especially for my mom, it was hard at first, but ended up going to IMG Academy senior year, and then due to unfortunate injury in my wrist, I was out for the whole season, so I had to take a post-grad year there. And then during that post-grad year, it was amazing. Picked up a couple offers, but not really what I wanted at first. And then I got a call from Coach Netti here at the Ohio State University, and basically just saying that I could come on as a walk-on and, just contribute in the way that I could on the team. And, it was kind of a no-brainer for me. So kind of immediately said yes. But, it's been awesome here.
Yeah, for Dan and Nick throwing in the smirk there, it's the Ohio State University. Emphasis on the. I don't know why you guys are laughing. It's just the name.
No, I'm glad it's not just you that says it. This is actually the first person I've heard say it that's not David. So I'm actually.
I can't even count how many times I've heard him say the Ohio State University. So I'm glad. Yeah, like he said, I'm glad.
Year and a half too that he's been there.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Well, Kobe, I want to ask about your IMG career. Did you feel like going to IMG benefited your career, playing alongside so many phenomenal players, Moussa Diabate, Tamar Bates, Jet Howard, some of those guys? And can you kind of talk about what those practices were like and how highly intense they were?
Yeah. It impacted me greatly, like just practicing against like players like that. And it's like, iron sharpens iron. So like, it's, you're going to get better no matter what, as long as like, if you're practicing against high level dudes, like you're immediately going to get better. So, just practicing with them and playing with them and just constantly being around like good connections, and, like the coaching staff is amazing. So, just every aspect of life, like even outside of basketball, it was so much different at IMG than I would have got anywhere else.
So I wanted to ask you, being a fellow walk-on myself, what kind of motivates you? Me and you probably not seeing too much time on the court. So what's really the motivation that's like pushing you to keep working your butt off?
Really just like I constantly tell myself back when I was at like Atascocita High School, I would constantly like tell myself, okay, this is where I want to get, this is where I want to get. And then I would get there, and then I'd be like, okay, well, this is where I want to get. And like not really noticing where I've kind of been to like understand like where I'm at. And so like being at Ohio State University, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I'm in this position, but this is where I've been trying to get to this whole time. And so like understanding that, wow, I've put in the work, and wow, I've, experienced this journey, and I'm here. were like, what's to say I can't get, here? You know what I'm saying? So like that kind of motivates me to like keep pushing, and no matter what gets thrown my way, that like I've already made that journey. Like I just got to keep going.
Perspective.
Yeah.
It's all about that perspective. And I mean, I know you personally, and I just feel like you have a phenomenal perspective, which sort of always keeps you going. You're a workhorse for sure. But sort of bouncing off Dan's question a little bit, you've played with a lot of phenomenal players, whether it's high school or college. So in your opinion, who's the best teammate that you've ever had? And then the best player that you've ever played with?
That's hard. Best teammate. I would probably say Bruce on this one, on best teammate. Bruce Thornton, yeah. Me and him really like connect a lot, and so we'll talk to each other through a lot of things, and especially like if he's struggling in the game or something, we'll go shoot or something like that. Best player, I'd say either Bryce or Jarris Walker. Jarris is crazy, man. Just like the size that he has and the jumping ability is insane.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked there you didn't mention my name with best player, but I'll let that one slide for now. I'll let it slide, but don't let it happen again, please.
I got you.
But then sort of going off of elite players, for those of you who don't know, or for Dan and Nick, Colby might be the biggest Kobe fan I've ever met. And that includes our dear friend Chancellor Williams, who's a manager up there at University of Nevada, Reno. So I kind of want to get this going. Colby is a big Kobe fan. Nick is a big LeBron fan. And Dan's a big hater of both of them. So we have to settle this. We got some diehards in here. We got some haters in here. Who is the GOAT? Who is the GOAT?
I just want to make sure that at the end of this conversation, Kobe's got to be in Dan's top 5. Dan is a stats guy. Dan's one of those analysts, that puts Kobe at like 9, which is, I can't even explain it. Like, so you can give your case, Kobe, for Kobe being at the top.
For me, growing up, Kobe was just everything for me. I mean, my I would say top 3, and y'all are not going to like this at all. Top 3, I'd go Mike, Kobe, then LeBron. That's my top 3. But I don't know. It's just like growing up on like so much LeBron. Like, I don't know. I just used to watch so many like old games on YouTube, just like of Kobe and Mike dominating and stuff. And just like, hearing the legends talk about them. It's just like, it's just always been them for me.
Yeah. I just say for me, like you said, like LeBron was just always on.
Yeah.
I feel like we were a little bit too young to really see like prime Kobe. You know what I mean? I feel like prime Kobe was like 02 to like probably 2010 when he won that ring. But I was like, I was old enough, but I was like 8, like I'm not really dissecting his game at that point in my life. Like, I feel like LeBron for me was like right in that beginning of that. Like I was watching him and began to like him, but then like watching him, throughout my teen years, seeing what he did in Miami and then all those years on the Cavs, like just taking a bum roster to the finals each year and then losing to a team that arguably is probably the greatest team ever assembled. Like, I don't know. They always like, we always have this argument between Dan and Dave, and they just always say like 4 and 6, 4 and 6. And I'm like how many is Jordan getting like against KD, Steph, Clay, Draymond? Like that team one of those teams had 5 All-Stars, right? Am I right about that? One of those teams, or 4?
I don't know if it was 5.
I think it was 5 at one point.
Yeah, I think they had 5 at one point, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I feel like people downplay like his 6 finals losses. I think he can't control the Spurs one in 07. He took just not a team that's good enough to win a ring. And then Dallas one's his fault completely. He just didn't show up. Spurs won that he lost. Probably could have, should have won that. And then all the Warriors losses, bro. I know they're sweeps. Like the team was just not good enough like to win. And I don't know. I mean, that's just my opinion on it. They always give me crap for it because they're a stats. Jordan was 6-0, that kind of thing.
I mean, LeBron's number 2 for sure. Like, I'm not a LeBron hater like Dan. We got to make sure that people know that. I love LeBron. He's a phenomenal player. And if we're talking, all around basketball, he's the most skilled player of all time. But I think the most skilled and the GOAT have to be two different things. It's like in football. To me, Brady's obviously the GOAT. But if there's an all-time quarterback draft just off skill, he's not going to 1.
Fair enough. I see a point there.
I understand now that I have been called a hater for both LeBron and Kobe.
Because you are. You are.
It's just not true. Okay. I will admit I probably hate toward LeBron more than Kobe. Because I think in 2011, Kobe would have won that series that LeBron couldn't win. I think Kobe would have won that series.
I agree with you.
And I think Jordan would have too. I just think that their mentalities, those are the two most mentally competitive players of all time. You can't take that away from them. If we're talking pure skill, I still do think Kobe's probably borderline top 5. But I think LeBron is the most
borderline top 5 is the most skilled.
You see Colby? He said borderline top 5. Borderline.
Okay. Oh my God. He's like that's hot.
Give it to me. Who's your most skilled players? Like, give me a list. Give me a top. Give me a top 5.
I would say LeBron's the most skilled player of all time. I think if he had the mentality of Kobe and Jordan, he would be the runaway GOAT. And you guys say
he'd probably have 6. He'd probably have 6, maybe 7 rings if he had that mentality. You're right. I agree with you.
I think if Kobe had LeBron's build, Kobe would probably be the GOAT. If he was 6'8", 240 and could move and dunk like that.
See, I think Kobe could have that build if he wanted to, but I feel like the way he played wasn't just that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't just like a bump everybody. And I think, I don't know, man. It's like comparison from LeBron and the Warriors could be said about like Jordan and the Bad Boys, like, like that Pistons team, how when like the Bad Boys were winning against Jordan for like 3 years straight, something like that. And then Jordan really was just young honestly, but like he overcame that and then just beat them every other time. Like, I feel like LeBron got over that hump one time out of like 5 times.
I feel like that comparison should be more geared towards, I think it should be geared more towards LeBron versus the Celtics in his earlier years. So like he made the finals in 2007, and then like 08, 09 kept losing to the Celtics, and then when he moved to Miami, that Celtics team like just got completely wiped out. And then obviously he went to the finals 10 straight times after that, or whatever crazy stat it is, 10, 9, whatever. But
I mean,
it's always going to be a debate. There's never going to be a right or wrong answer. It's always just. I don't think you saying Mike, Kobe, Bron is the astronomical thing to say. I think saying Kobe is not top 5 is an astronomical thing to say, which has been said on this podcast. So I'm just,
I would say Kobe is top 5 skilled ever, but if we're looking at like the whole picture, he's probably like 6 or 5. I don't know how. I actually am shocked that that's like outlandish, because you guys are forgetting about all these greats. You're forgetting about Magic. You're forgetting about Kareem. You're forgetting about Shaq. You're forgetting about Tim Duncan, who's probably the most underrated player of all time. Like these players all have arguments that could be over Kobe.
All right, Dan, watch this then. Dan, watch this. All-time draft. You got pick 5. You're building a team. Are you taking Kobe? You taking Tim Duncan?
Yeah, definitely not Tim Duncan.
So I'll tell you who's gone. MJ,
MJ,
LeBron, Magic, and he's the fifth pick, right? MJ, LeBron, Magic, Kareem is gone.
I would maybe take Steph, but I'm not. I would probably take Kobe. I'd probably take Kobe.
I don't know about that one.
Steph is like, man, Steph. By the end of his career, when it's all said and done, Steph might be top 5. If he wins another ring or two,
he's got to win. He's got to win 2
with 3 Finals MVPs. Yes,
I think arguably he could be right now. I think arguably he could be top 10, but it would be at that 10 spot, and he would not get. I don't think he would get picked in like if you're picking 5-on-5 like in a game. I don't think he's getting picked on either squad.
No. He can't, bro. You see, like, the Cavs won that 2016 series by guard-to-guard pick and switch every single time down the court to let Steph guard, and that's how they won those last 3 games, by legitimately just going at Steph the entire time. I mean, you saw the Kyrie shot. You saw how it happened. JR set a screen, and they switched. Like, I agree with you saying, like, Steph could be top 5 when it's said and done. He's got to win 2 more at least and probably get Finals MVP for both. Last year's Finals, super impressive. That team was, I want to say, like, obviously Klay's not the same player as he was in 2015, 2016. Draymond, same thing, got a little older. No KD. I know you got Andrew Wiggins, who's probably, like, arguably in his prime right now, but that was the Celtics were nice. So, like, him winning that series was impressive. But I think he's got to win 1 more.
Yeah, I just
maybe
think there's
2.
no player in the history of the game like him, is why I think
I agree.
Because
teams
have to approach Steph different than any player in the history of the game ever. I mean, he's a top 3, top 5 ball handler of all time and the best shooter of all time. Like, you have to, when you're game planning for Steph Curry, you're game planning for him harder, like, at the 3-point line than anybody you've ever played against. Not close. His floor spacing, his ability, what he can do is, like, outlandish. That's why I have him, like, so high up, is because of his impact. And I also think Kobe's very high on impact, too. He's probably top 3 all time on impact. So
if you have Kobe on your team,
I would take Kobe over Steph. I would.
I just think, like, me, if I'm putting, like, a team together and I'm saying, like these guys are not going to let me lose, it's Kobe and Mike all day.
Yeah.
Like if they're down, like, just pass them the ball because they're not going to lose. Like,
yeah, we could debate this for hours. Unfortunately, I think everyone here is wrong because Jalen Brunson wasn't mentioned at 1 point. But
oh God,
can continue off of that. These last few episodes, I've been talking about Brunson a ton. He has a special place in my heart. But I think, Nick, you had a good question fired up and ready to go.
Yeah. So moving from that point, I wanted to ask you, like, obviously been in some crazy environments being in the Big Ten. What's probably the craziest environment you've been in?
Probably Purdue, honestly. I would say Purdue just based on environment, but trash talking, I would say probably Nebraska.
Yeah. You got to give the viewers. I was at both of those trips with you. Purdue was crazy. I mean, Mackey Arena, that sort of speaks for itself, but I don't think anyone would have expected Nebraska. You got to give the viewers and my boys the story of what happened down in Lincoln.
It was just it's just like constant, like, I think Zed fouled out that game, and just like they would, like, constantly left, right, like when he was walking to the bench, and then he wouldn't sit down, and so they were all like standing, and it was just so annoying. And then, like, throughout the game, they would make, like, subtle comments about me or, like, Owen, Bowen, Kalen, like, just everybody on that bench. And they would just constantly talk about us in the back of our ear. And it was just so annoying.
Yeah, I've been there. I would say we beat New Mexico at New Mexico, which was a crazy game. I always find it funny how the student sections are right by the end of our bench. So you're hearing
Yeah.
everything. And like I would say like New Mexico was like the craziest environment that I've been in, but Utah State was like talking the most crazy, which you wouldn't expect. But they're like they have 3 full sections of students, like not a seat open. It was kind of nuts, and they were talking the most trash. Like it was crazy. It was nuts.
Yeah, no, last year I remember our team coming back from the NIT, and we won at Utah State last year. And I remember our guys saying, like, even though it was the NIT, like for them they treated it like it was like March Madness, and they were talking about how like it was 10,000 sold out, like our players were getting heckled the whole game, like they had like fat heads of like embarrassing photos of our players, like just in their entire student section. And I remember them just coming back and saying that environment in Logan was like unlike any other that they've ever been in.
Yeah, it wasn't expected. It was like I didn't expect it, but then when I got there, the guys were like, "Just be ready. This is a student section that will do research on you and talk crap to you the entire game," and they did.
So it sounds like next time you guys are slated to play at Utah State, I'm going to have to get in touch with their student section and provide them some photos to print out.
Yeah, one of the Utah State like student section guys knows a friend of mine, and he was like, "Do you know this guy? You guys went to high school together." And he was like, "Yeah." And then he was like, "Do you have any dirt on him?" And he was like, "No, bro, I'm not giving you dirt on him." Like, and he was like, "All right, I'll just get it myself." Yeah, and he like sent me that, and I was like, "Oh God, like I don't have anything to hide." But geez, man, like I don't play. Like talk to them. Yeah.
You're my boy. I love you. I wouldn't ever give anyone any dirt, but they ask for like a embarrassing selfie or stupid little photo. I mean, I might have to provide. I don't know.
Awesome. I'm glad that I can trust you in that.
Yeah, no problem.
Nick, I don't think I would rat you out because I know you would keep me safe. So I probably would keep you safe too.
Probably?
I would. Colby, I want to know right now, and I know this is very far down the line, but do you have an idea of where you want to be 10 years from now, whether that's in basketball or just in life in general?
10 years from now, my plan is to once all basketball is all said and done, wherever, and whenever that is, I kind of want to see the world for a little bit. So I want to just pack everything up and just go live somewhere crazy. But then, after a year of that, I want to come back and start up my own business. In my mind, I'm thinking that I want to do something in basketball, maybe my own gym or something like that. But I know I definitely want to venture off in a different category. So, real estate, commercial business, whatever that is. I just know I want to own my own business. So hopefully in 10 years from now, I'll be owning my own business.
Yeah, that travel part sounds phenomenal. I can't wait. Hop on a flight. I'll go visit you in Greece or Morocco or somewhere crazy. That'll be awesome.
For sure.
Yeah, if anyone has any other talking points, if not, we'll get to our sort of storyline of the week. So for the storyline of the week this week, I think it'd be good to have everyone go around and give their player of the year at this point in the season, who they would give the Wooden Award to and why. So I guess I'll start us off. No copying either. So if your answer gets stolen, you got to change it. But for me, I got some stats pulled up right here. Got to go with the big man from Purdue, Zach Edey. He's just a mammoth of a human. And despite what people say, and I've defended him on a handful of occasions, he's skilled too. He's not just big. His post footwork, his drop step, his hook shot, he's skilled. And he's averaging 22.1 points at the time of this recording, which is 7th in the nation. 12.7 rebounds is first. shooting about 62% from the floor, which is 16th, 2.5 blocks a game, produced 22-4. They haven't dropped out of the top 5 since November. They've beaten great teams in Marquette, Gonzaga, Michigan State, Rutgers. They have 9 quad 1 wins, and he's the head of the snake. And I mean, I just don't see how you can pick against him, but I want to see your guys' arguments.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to go against Zach Edey and what he's done this year. For my answer, as much as I want to say N'Faly Dante of Oregon, I'm not going to be biased. So I'm going to go with Jalen Wilson of Kansas. He's somebody that the jump that he's made from 2 years ago to now, kind of like Zach Edey, is like astronomical. I remember watching him in his freshman year, him just kind of being like a plug-in guy. He was a starter, he was a starting 3, but he was kind of just like a wing presence who could rebound and defend. And, when he got the ball, he had a couple of nice moves in his bag, but he wasn't really like at that elite college level yet. But the jump that he's made this year, 21.5 points, 9.5 boards, 4 assists, shooting 35% from 3. He has played elite, especially in arguably the toughest conference in the college basketball, in the Big 12 is very impressive. And he's taken Kansas to big heights. I mean, they lost Christian Brown and Ochai Agbaji to the draft last year. And Bill Self sort of kind of gave Jalen Wilson the challenge of, this is your team now. You have to go and be that guy, and you have to deliver us big-time wins. And he's done that. Now, I think Zach Edey probably does deserve the award more. I would agree with David, but Jalen Wilson is a number 2 for sure in that category for me.
Go ahead, Colby, you can go.
All right. So I for sure would have said Zach Edey. I feel like he's the most obvious choice, but if I would have to pick a different player other than Zach Edey and Jalen Wilson, I'd probably go, I don't know, I may go Drew Timme, honestly, just because he's averaging around like 21, 22-ish. He's kind of like that leader role on his team. And I mean, Gonzaga's always been, a really good basketball team, but especially last year and like this year, I feel like he's taken a lot of strides, and like just like he definitely was not averaging 22 points per game last year, and just like, I don't know, the way he leads that team is, I feel like, the only other choice I could pick other than Zach Edey.
I, like everyone else, would say Zach Edey, but because we can't choose the same, I'm going to go to the Pac-12 here, and I'm going to go, Dan, help me out with this pronunciation. Azuolas Tubelis.
Azuolas Tubelis of Arizona. He's
yeah. So I mean, he's averaging 21 and 9 on 58% from the field. He's shooting 8 of 18 from 3 on the year. Like you said about Jalen Wilson, like losing a couple guys to the draft. They had three guys that they lost to the draft, and they're still, them and UCLA are really good in the Pac-12. But I think he could be another Sabonis type player in the league, and I think he's just shown how good he is, his improvement from last year to this year.
I like it a lot. And one person I'm going to give a quick spotlight to, not a player of the year candidate. I mean, he's probably up there now, but definitely someone who I think deserves some attention, is Jalen Pickett of Penn State, averaging 19 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists as a guard, shooting 52 from the field, 38 from 3, 80 from the free throw line. In his last 2 games, had a combined like 75 points or something. So if Penn State can make the tournament, I think he needs some more love than he's getting credited nationally. So I just wanted to bring that up. And don't ask me my walk-on of the year candidate yet, because I couldn't give you an answer. I mean, I still need to see. Like Nick had that nice little layup, but I don't know. I've heard some bad things about what's going on in practice. Kobe going crazy in practice. I don't know. It's hard. But no, I think this was a phenomenal episode. I'll get the viewers the answer to the most pressing question of who my walk-on of the year is soon. But as always, Colby, appreciate you coming on. I thought this was a great episode. Dan and Nick, if you got anything else. If not, PPP out.
Peace.
Peace.
Appreciate y'all.